Friends, Namaskar and good afternoon. Welcome to this virtual briefing. The India-Sri Lanka Virtual Bilateral Summit was held just a while ago between our PM and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. To brief us on this summit, I have with me Joint Secretary IOR Shri Amit Narang. Joint Secretary will make his opening remarks and thereafter he will take your questions. So over to you, Amit.
Thank you, Anurag. Good afternoon to everybody. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi and Sri Lankan Prime Minister His Excellency Mahinda Rajapaksa held their first ever India-Sri Lanka Virtual Bilateral Summit today on 26 September 2020. This was also our Prime Minister's first such summit with a neighbour. During the summit that lasted about 1 hour, the two leaders reviewed the entire range of bilateral matters and exchanged views on regional and international issues of common concern. The members of the Indian delegation included External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, National Security Advisor Shri Ajit Doval, Foreign Secretary Shri Harshvardhan Shringla, and other officials of the Prime Minister's office as well as the Ministry of External Affairs, including our High Commissioner in Colombo, Shri Gopal Bagle. Sri Lankan Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa was assisted by Minister of Foreign Affairs Honorable Dinesh Gunawardene, Minister of Fisheries Honorable Douglas Devananda, as well as other ministers and senior officials from Sri Lankan side. In the current COVID-imposed restrictions, the successful conduct of the virtual summit reflects the high degree of commitment at the leaders level on taking forward the bilateral relationship. In particular, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa recalled that this was his first bilateral engagement with a foreign leader after being re-elected following the successful victory of his party, Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, at the parliamentary elections held in August this year. He expressed his firm resolve to use the opportunity provided by the strong two-thirds majority achieved by his party-led alliance in the last month's elections to take India-Sri Lanka engagement to new heights. While concurring with Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, our Prime Minister also added that the current moment provided a unique opportunity for both countries to work more closely with each other in dealing with the economic impact of COVID-19 and deepening engagement on regional and international issues. The discussions were held in a friendly, frank and cordial manner. The outcomes of the summit are substantial, forward-looking and also help to set an ambitious agenda for bilateral ties. I would just like to flag some important points of discussion. First and foremost, testifying to the long-standing civilizational links and cultural heritage between the two countries, our Prime Minister announced a grant assistance of $15 million for the promotion of Buddhist ties between the two countries. This grant will assist in deepening people-to-people linkages between the two countries in the sphere of Buddhism, inter alia through constructions, renovations of Buddhist monasteries, capacity development, cultural exchanges, archaeological cooperation, reciprocal exposition of Lord Buddha's relics, strengthening of Buddhist scholarships and support to the Buddhist clergy. It was agreed that the Indian side will facilitate the visit of a delegation of Buddhist pilgrims from Sri Lanka in the first inaugural flight to the sacred city of Kushinagar. As you would know, Kushinagar Airport has been designated as an international airport recently, recognizing its importance at the Buddhist site. Both sides also agreed to explore opportunities in the areas of Ayurveda and Yoga. Both leaders were unanimous in their view that the ancient cultural links between India and Sri Lanka are special and must be nurtured further. Prime Minister Rajapaksa made a special mention of the Jaffna Cultural Centre, which is an iconic project built with Indian assistance. The centre is almost ready and Prime Minister Rajapaksa extended an invitation to our Prime Minister to inaugurate the project. Both sides will remain in touch at official level for details. The two leaders also shared a positive assessment of the ongoing development cooperation partnership between India and Sri Lanka. Towards this end, both sides have reached an understanding to extend the Memorandum of Understanding on the high-impact community development projects for a further period of 5 years. Both leaders also agreed to continue the successful Indian housing project and gave instructions to officials to fast-track the construction of 10,000 houses in the plantation sector. Both leaders discussed the economic dimension of the challenges posed by COVID-19. They acknowledged the need for close coordination on issues such as trade and investment, including the facilitation of an enabling environment for economic enterprises of both sides, as well as deepening the integration of supply chains for mutual benefit. Our Prime Minister expressed his hope that the temporary restrictions imposed by the Sri Lankan side on the imports of some products will be relaxed soon, as this will also benefit the Sri Lankan economy and the common people. The ongoing infrastructure and connectivity projects were discussed, and Prime Minister expressed his confidence that the government in Sri Lanka will take early and decisive steps for their early implementation in accordance with existing understandings and in mutual interest of both sides. Both sides have also been working to strengthen bilateral financial cooperation. India has already extended a $400 million currency swap facility to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka to assist with the economic recovery and to tackle the COVID-19 related disruptions. An additional request for a bilateral currency swap is under discussion. Technical discussions on Sri Lanka's request for deferment of the debt repayments are also going on. The two Prime Ministers expressed satisfaction with the robustness of the security and defence cooperation between the two sides. They agreed to continue and further strengthen the mutual exchange of personnel and training, maritime security cooperation, and India's support to Sri Lanka in the spheres of defence and security. The recent coordination exhibited by the armoured forces of both sides in controlling the fire on the MT New Diamond, the oil tanker, and thereafter stabilizing the ship, which was carrying a crude oil cargo of nearly 300,000 metric tons of crude oil, and thereby preventing a cargo oil spill, was specifically acknowledged by the leaders as an example of practical collaboration. Prime Minister Rajapaksa made a special mention of the excellent support rendered by the Indian Coast Guard and the Indian Navy in this operation. Both leaders acknowledged the progress made in information sharing and cooperation in both counter-terrorism as well as dealing with drug trafficking. Both leaders agreed to strengthen cooperation in the areas of agriculture, animal husbandry, science and technology, healthcare, Ayush, as well as skill development, particularly by increasing training of professionals, thereby realizing the full potential of the demographic dividend in both countries. Prime Minister Rajapaksa noted that sports can act as a bridge between the two countries and further enhance our people-to-people ties, and specifically mentioned cricket in this regard. Both leaders also exchanged views on reconciliation in Sri Lanka. Prime Minister called on the new government in Sri Lanka to work towards realizing the expectations of Tamils for equality, justice, peace and dignity within a united Sri Lanka by achieving reconciliation nurtured by the full implementation of the constitutional provisions. He emphasized that full implementation of the 13th Amendment to the Sri Lankan Constitution is essential for carrying forward the process of peace and reconciliation. The two leaders also exchanged views on the fishermen issues. They agreed to continue and strengthen the ongoing constructive and humanitarian approach to this problem through existing bilateral channels and instructed relevant officials to this effect. Thank you.
Thank you, Amit. Now, moving on to your questions, I have received quite a few. I'll start with questions on the Colombo Port East Container Terminal. Parul Chandra from Strat News Global wants to know, did India raise the issue of the East Container Terminal project, which has been put on hold by Sri Lanka, and what was the response of the Sri Lankan side? Suhasini wants to know, has India and Sri Lanka signed an agreement? India and Sri Lanka had signed an infrastructure agreement for projects in Trincomalee in 2017. Have those agreements now been cancelled by the new government? And what is the future of the Colombo East Port Terminal project with Japan? There are similar questions from Nainima from the Print, Rekha Dikshit from the Week, and JP Ranjan from Dainik Jagran.
I think I'll take the questions as broadly pertaining to the to the economic projects under discussion between the two sides. On this issue, we have had positive and constructive discussions with the Sri Lankan side. Both sides remain committed to these ventures and are working towards ensuring their implementation for mutual benefit. During the summit, our Prime Minister expressed his confidence that the new government will take early and decisive steps for the implementation of these projects.
Parul Chandra from Strat News Global wants to know, during the meeting, did India seek any kind of assurance from the Sri Lankan side that the 13th Amendment won't be done away with?
I think I have elaborated on this point in my opening statement. The position of Government of India on this matter is well known. We have always stood for peace and reconciliation, including through the full implementation of the 13th Amendment to the Sri Lankan Constitution. And as I mentioned in my opening statement, this point was highlighted by our Prime Minister during the summit.
Was the LAC situation discussed by PM Modi with PM Rajapaksa? This is Nainima from The Print. There are similar questions from Suhasini from The Hindu and Maha from CNN News 18. Would you like to take that, Amit?
I can only say that there was an exchange of views on all issues of common interest, regional and international, in the summit.
Then there are a set of questions on moratorium on loan repayments. Rekha Dikshit from The Week wants to know, has Sri Lanka asked for a deferment of loan repayment due to COVID? What is the development? Similar questions from Smita Sharma and Suhasini from The Hindu.
Extending financial support to Sri Lanka is one of our priorities. In line with this, as I mentioned in the opening statement, we have already extended a currency swap facility of $400 million to Sri Lanka. There are additional requests for a new currency swap facility. There is also a request for deferment of their debt repayments which are due to India. Both these requests are currently being discussed at the official level, and we are hopeful that at the technical level we will be able to arrive at a mutual understanding very shortly.
Akhilesh Suman from Rajya Sabha TV. Sri Lanka and India are maritime neighbors. What contours of maritime cooperation was discussed between the two prime ministers? Is there any chance of logistics agreements signed between the two countries? There's another question on the same lines from Ranjit Kumar of Rakshak News.
India and Sri Lanka are maritime neighbors, and maritime security and maritime cooperation are always important pillars for our overall partnership. Several issues are discussed under this broad rubric. This area was also touched upon by the leaders in their discussions, and both sides agreed to further strengthen their already pretty strong collaboration on both maritime cooperation as well as specifically on maritime security, not least and especially in the including in the areas of BIMSTEC and Indian Ocean Rim Association.
There's another question from Suhasini from The Hindu. Will there be a travel bubble set up with Sri Lanka?
COVID-related travel disruptions are a reality both in India as well as in our neighborhood. A bilateral air travel bubble has been proposed between India and Sri Lanka by us. We feel that early resumption of travel will assist in their economic recovery. The two leaders also discussed early resumption of tourism and people-to-people connectivity. However, at this stage, international travel within Sri Lanka remains restricted, and as soon as they are comfortable with opening up, we'll be happy to start travel between the two countries.
Suchitra from News 18 Tamil wants to know what is the comprehensive review which took place during the bilateral meeting. I think you covered this extensively in your opening statement. So I'll move on to the next question from Suchitra. Recently, Sri Lankan PM had a brief conversation with northern fishermen leaders. Was there any discussion about fishermen during the bilateral talks, especially during the joint working group between India and Sri Lanka and the trawlers issues? Would you like to respond to that?
I mentioned, Anurag, in my opening statement that the issue of fishermen was discussed. Our Prime Minister emphasized that we must continue and strengthen our ongoing cooperation. We have existing channels, existing mechanisms, and both leaders are keen that these mechanisms be used to further our dialogue on this issue, and more importantly, to maintain a constructive and humanitarian approach which has guided the approach of the two sides so far on the fishermen issue.
I don't see any further questions. So thank you, Amit. Thank you for joining us. And this concludes this special briefing. See you all again.
Thank you. Thank you.